All right, welcome to the most normal podcast in Texas. Stranger Questions. This is a podcast where I find random strangers that I think are interesting and that I could learn from, and then we have a conversation where we expose each other's darkest secrets. I'm just kidding, you don't have to expose your darkest secrets. But I do want our listeners to know that there could be profanity. In fact, there's most definitely going to be some profanity, on my behalf at least.
I'm a potty mouth.
There could also be some inappropriate subjects, topics that we cover. We're all adults here. So if you have sensitive ears, you've been warned. But without any further ado, our first ever guest on the podcast, the incredible Astrid Smith. She's here with us today. Drove a half an hour. You know how many minutes that is?
Like at least 2.
At least 2 minutes.
At least 2.
Yeah. So you work at HEB. Is that your dream job?
You know, if anybody ever says their dream job is to work at a grocery store, I'm going to deeply judge them.
I mean, if somebody found their thing, they're like, HEB is my passion. I like shopping for people. I get paid enough and I'm happy with everything that I have to pay for. My house is nice.
I mean, like, I'm in that boat right now. Like, I like my job. It's a really good job. I like taking care of the community, and working with people is definitely one of my strengths. But I mean, dream job is a stretch.
I like that aspect of it too. My job is similar, doing favor. I get to talk to people, get to interact with people. I like staying in this area because time has done a weird thing. It makes everybody kind of look at me different. They kind of know who I am, even if they don't really know who I am. And
For sure.
I get to spread good vibes to everybody, just smile at them excessively. Say funny things to people that would be embarrassing to most people, but it makes them laugh. And so the next time they see my face, they're like, yeah. And they remember that feeling. They're like, it's good. And I think it spreads it all around. And hopefully when they go home, they don't ground their kids. They just go, hey, you know what? Don't do that again. And the kid's like, you know what? I shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I get that.
Chain reaction. I don't know, spreading good vibes.
You're always good vibes. Like,
Thank you.
I don't think this is like the first like real interaction that I've had with you.
Yeah.
Everything else has just been kind of like passing by. And I've never gotten bad vibes from you. Like, you're just like a super positive person.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I aspire to be like that. I have an annoying trait, but also so valuable. I'm super self-aware, like to the maximum that you could possibly be. Obviously, that can get to you if you're out in public. You're like, oh, what do I look like, or blah, blah, blah. Whatever, you start asking yourself unreasonable, stupid questions.
Yeah.
But it's taught me so much, because I know who I am. I'm really in touch with myself. And I get to decide what I want to be on a daily basis. I get to decide whether I want to look at this person all neutral and just, they can assume that I'm glaring at them, or I can excessively smile behind my mask and they're like, what the fuck is going on here? So it's all a choice, and I chose to try and spread that, and that's awesome that it came back. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's verification, and I appreciate it. Yeah, you're a pretty positive person too. The reason that I wanted to talk to you is because most people in HEB, they're real surface level, right? They have that surface level conversation. They throw the same stuff out there,
Yeah.
same words.
I see that.
And I'm not criticizing that at all. If you're comfortable doing that and that's what makes you feel best, then do it.
It wasn't always like that. I feel like it's only been like since the pandemic hit.
That's a really good point. I've watched people change, and it's so weird. Like, I think that was the point that I was trying to make. Physical distancing as opposed to social distancing. I think physical distancing is a better term, and I've heard HEB use it in their announcements, and I was like, yes,
Yeah.
that's good. Physically distance, keep your 6 feet, especially if you're feeling sick. But don't socially distance. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously there's a little hit that you have to take there. You're not able to come up to somebody and hug them or do your normal routine, but adapt and still socialize. I think it's a really key part in being human. Without it, we just kind of fall into a weird...
A lot of people have been falling into this, like, watching my coworkers spiral down into this depression and suicidal thoughts. It's just gotten really out of control, and it's
out of control on the outside and on the inside. It's like... Yeah. I think everybody's taking it differently. Just, I think the pandemic as a whole, that can be its own thing. And then on the other side, you have like economy, politics, and all that nastiness over there. People were handling the pandemic poorly, just I think in a mental way. Wasn't processing very well. And then you tax on like election, politics, everything that goes along with that, the economy. And it's like, I don't think people understand how to keep moving. It's like they freeze up in fear. They can't think in long-term ways anymore. It's like really short-term. Like, oh, what am I going to do? Oh, money, this, that, whatever you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And I think it does cause people to go into that deeper spiral of thought that eventually comes down to that point of suicidal thoughts and all that craziness.
And social media definitely feeds into it. People, especially if they're like quarantined or social distancing, physical distancing, they're on social media a lot more now than ever.
Yeah.
And they're taking these conspiracy theories and all these negative thoughts, and it's just piling on top of them. So while this information was out there before, like years ago, it's being spread so much more now because of social media and just the craziness in general.
The amount of time that it takes for news to get to us now is fractional compared to what it used to be. Like, you think phones are out of the picture, what are you going to use? You have mail, you have newspaper, you have like billboards, stuff like that, the little poster boards, you hang a poster up. That's significantly slower than bing, oh look, somebody got assassinated. Okay. Yeah. It's way slower, it's way different.
And it doesn't give you enough time to like analyze that situation and build up your own thoughts and feelings, because everybody else instantly has that information and instantly gathers everybody else's thoughts and feelings on that subject, and then just kind of mimics those instead of like looking at it, analyzing it, breaking it down, and trying to figure out like what's right in that and what's wrong in that. And like even the people producing that news, like a lot of the stuff that's out there right now, like this pandemic in general, we don't know a lot about it. No. So everything that's being put out not only is stuff that we really don't know much about, but it's like fed even more by the people that know even less and build it up into this like explosive. There's so many conspiracy theories out right now. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's insane.
Just so you know my stance on news and everything, I don't tune into anything. I don't tune into anything at all, ever, unless it pops up on my phone and I see it in the 3 seconds before I swipe it away. I don't pay attention to anything, and I feel fucking amazing.
I love that.
And I know it. I was really conflicted about it for weeks. I was like, okay, choice here. Go with the news, try and figure out the real stuff, spend time deciphering all of this craziness and what's really true and what's not. And then the thought came into my head, well, what do I even do to verify anything? Where did you get your information? A website. Okay. Where did I get my information? A website. It all has the same potential to be junk to me. And
true. Very true.
So, to me, that I try to be really careful with what I even listen to. Like, whatever I'm putting into my brain, I want it to be good. I think of it as food, like brain food. All the words, all the music, all the podcasts, all the books that you're reading. It all plays a part in who you become. whether you realize it or not, it influences how you make your next move, I think.
Definitely.
So, yeah, I tuned out of everything, and I feel amazing. I can think clearly. I'm not worried about this or that. And I guess it makes me feel a little selfish. That was my initial problem with it, I guess. Like,
Why do you feel like that?
because I feel like there's an inherent responsibility that everybody has, or at least there's an idea that responsibility should be put on you to know what's going on so that you can react to it. Like, to know that the virus is airborne, so you should wear this kind of mask. I think there's a responsibility there. And so to not tune into any of it, there's truth in there. There's little truth nuggets, and I'm not getting those. And so, I don't know, I feel like I could be missing out on something, but I don't know, once you make me talk it out, I'm like, what the fuck am I missing out on?
Yeah, you're just being a positive person, and you're focusing on that mindset and not listening to all the negativity that's in the world right now, and I like that.
Thanks.
There's a lot of negativity, and you clearly don't have that, and that's what makes you such a beautiful person.
Oh, thank you. I think, yeah, if you think about it as brain food, all of the information, whatever the method is that it gets into your head, you're reading a book, you're listening to a podcast, you read an article, whatever it is, that plays into how you feel. And I mean, you can't, it's like those pictures where they're like, once you see it, you can never unsee it. And it's like an optical illusion or whatever, and you see something, I don't know.
Yeah, I
once it's in there, it's not coming out. Like, that's why things that happened in your childhood, like from the ages of 1 to 9, I think that's your foundation right there. That still comes up in your 20s, 30s, 40s, all the way until you die.
No doubt. Absolutely no doubt.
So you put something in there, it's not going to go away in a day. You're not going to stop thinking about it. I think it wears on people, and yeah, it's not so sad. It is sad though that we can't have one place where we're like, okay, we can go get news here, and I feel good about it. This is what's going on. It's not an overload of information. They're not just steamrolling me with information. Oh, this story. Okay, an hour later, this story. Like, you don't even have time to process the first one.
Yeah.
You don't even, like, George Floyd's death, that came out. People will need months to process that.
Yeah.
Some people need months. I think other people, it's a little bit faster, just depending on who you are.
Yeah.
But point being, people need time to process that kind of stuff. And if you just steamroll over it with something else, okay, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. It's just, I don't understand how you can process all that. There's no room in there. There's already a struggle to get enough room to put all the stuff that you want in there about your character and about your personality and what you do in life. Why not fill it with that kind of stuff that you want to do?
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, news is funky. It's nasty to me. I just don't know what to trust.
I feel that though, because I'm the same way with just like TV and movies in general. Like, everybody's like, did you see that new movie that just came out? And I'm like, no, I don't watch movies. And they're like, you don't watch movies? What do you do in your spare time? And it's like, I
get the same question.
I don't get why people don't understand how you can like be so disconnected from TV and movies in general. Like, I feel like that's so common with so many people that they just can't even imagine a life without it.
Yeah, they've been with it for so long. I think it's probably those foundation first 7 to 9 years. If you're growing up with TV and you're like, yeah, my parents got a TV, we tune into the news every night, or we watch this movie every night, or blah, 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 we get this show. You know, that's a part of your life, your habit, your routine.
That kind of makes sense, because I grew up in a very, very poor household. We definitely had TV at times, but it definitely, like, didn't even have electricity sometimes, you know?
Oh, man. That's a little bit farther than mine was. That's interesting. Because, yeah, being 20 years old, you know, I think everybody that's 20 years old, they have those crazy questions. They think just life is fucking insane. They don't know what's going on. Like, what am I? What am I going to do? What's my purpose? What do I want to do? And especially now that we have all the craziness going on. I've just been looking to my childhood to see why I do things, and it provides a justification for some little trait that you don't like. Like, oh, you get frustrated when this happens, you get triggered when that happens. Why is that? Take a look into your past. Oh, well, I grew up in this situation, and this happened to me daily.
Yeah.
And so it triggered me then. That's why it triggers me now.
That makes sense.
I think that could tie back to having time to process things. I mean, thinking back years on a certain event, that's processing still. So, I mean, George Floyd's death, you have to process that. You got to keep thinking back, what does that even mean? What does that cause?
There's so much in those statements, so many answers that can feed into that. Like, I don't know, when you hear a question, it's kind of like second nature to want to give like an immediate answer.
Yeah, I have
but
that
like
problem.
there's like such open questions like that where you think of like 10 answers at once.
Mm-hmm. There's so many different ways to think about things, different perspectives. When I first like figured out what perspective was, I was like 18, and I was like, okay, so I'm hungry right now. This is how I feel about this certain situation. It looks really shitty. I'm gonna wait for that to go.
Sounds like a big fart.
Right. It's a long one. Oh, my girlfriend farted the other day. This is good. She's gonna love that I'm putting it out there, because I will put it out there.
I'm so down for this right now. Like, I'm so invested in what you're about to say.
I was playing with my dog. He's facing me. She's behind my dog, sitting in the beanbag. Let's out a fat one. It was a good one. Babe, it was a solid like 7 or 8 out of 10. It was good.
Man, beefy.
So, it was beefy. Might have had some Taco Bell. So it was good. The duration, the volume, it was all there.
Wow, a whole review just for this part.
We've been reviewing our burps since we've been together.
I love that.
It's amazing. But anyway, she lets out this solid 7, and my dog turns around with the most concerned face and just lets out a bark. He never barks. He never barks.
He was like mad at it.
He was mad, confused, scared. All of it. He never barks, and so it was great.
That, I wish I was there for that, just to like give like a golf clap. Like,
I know,
yes.
It was so good. I was honored to be there.
I approve, 100%.
Glad you approve.
Actually, went viral on TikTok a few months ago
Really?
for talking about my constipation. And
I could definitely see that.
Well, it confused the heck out of me because I posted like serious TikToks. Like, I'm a performer, I like to dance, so I posted like dancing TikToks. I posted like all these like different TikToks, right? And like none of them gained traction. And then I reached this point where like I couldn't poo, and I'm like, this would make a funny TikTok, but never did I think anybody would like it. It's like at this point in time, TikTok's just kind of like a way to pass the time. Like, I wasn't trying to get viral. I wasn't trying to gain likes. None of my posts have any hashtags. Like, I just posted this video without any hashtags, and it was literally just me in my car in the HEB parking lot, and I literally said something along the lines of, I haven't pooped in 6 days, so I got prunes, apple juice, laxatives, and if I don't fucking shit, I'm gonna lose and then the video cuts off. And I was giggling, but like out of nowhere, it just like thousands upon thousands of people are like reacting to this video, commenting on this video, claiming that I'm on drugs. Like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, they're like, oh, opiates cause constipation. I'm like, man, I wish I was like on opiates. Like, honestly, I wish I had the money to do these drugs.
I wish I was financially stable enough to afford them. I'm not gonna say that I would spend my money on them. But I wish I was there. I wish I had enough money to be there.
And then after that video was posted, I gained like a ton of followers. I had like over 1,000 followers just on that one video.
Oh, man.
And it was such like a meaningless video to me, but obviously TikTok liked it. Mm-hmm. And then later on I posted, like months later, it was fairly recently, I posted this video with this like audio of like this chick, like anime chick farting, I guess.
Oh, man.
And I thought it was hilarious, so I was gonna do a video about it. So I like dress up in like all my Astrid wear, like got my wig on, got my contacts in, and like I'm leaning out, like kind of with my butt out of frame, so like people could like duet it and make like videos like smelling my ass.
Yeah.
And that one went viral, and then everybody was like telling me what a terrible person I am, like how I fetishize farts, and I'm like, it was just a funny video.
What about that makes you a terrible person?
Because it's like a child's app. I don't know. People were thinking it was like super sexual.
App.
They would think I was being sexual with the farts, and I honestly thought it was hilarious. But
it was hilarious. If you thought it was hilarious, then that's what it is.
I still think it's hilarious.
Good. Don't let anybody else change that. If you think something is funny, keep it that way.
Farts are hilarious.
Farts are hilarious, have been hilarious, and will forever be hilarious.
My son hates farts.
What?
Like, I'll fart and he'll be like
just
make a
give
face.
You that
like,
glare.
Yeah.
Maybe it might just be this. No.
And I'll blame it on him. Sometimes I'll be like, ew, was that you? And he's like, no, that was you, mommy. And I'm like, girls don't toot. And he's like, that was definitely you. And I'm like, no, I think it was the cat. He gets so mad.
I distinctly remember the first time that somebody told me that girls don't fart and that they don't poo, and I was like, whoa, mind blown. I legitimately believed that. And then I went and told my parents, and they got mad. They were like, who told you that?
I can imagine having that conversation with parents. Like, yeah, so you guys have been lying to me all my life. I just learned that girls don't poop, and I've been pooping. So, am I doing something wrong?
What's going on here? Fix me.
I must be a boy, because, like,
If I'm shitting, I'm guaranteed a boy.
I demand my wiener.
Just hiding it in the closet.
Oh, I got a few of those in the drawer. We're good.
Exposed. I think people should be more like that. They shouldn't be so like, oh, no, I'm embarrassed. No, put that shit out there.
Yeah.
What's the worst that's gonna happen? I guess, no. Okay. I'm who I am because partially because I'm not on social media. I don't pay attention to all that. I've never been in a spot where people can look at this photo of me or video and criticize it and comment like you were saying.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's like, just whatever, fucking put it out there, whatever. Nobody's gonna say anything.
Yeah.
But I guess it's different. I guess it's a different perspective if you have put something out there and you've had people like, oh, you're on drugs for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time, like, I don't care. Like,
I think that's the third step to that. First step is you're right here, you don't give a shit. Second step is, oh, I've posted this picture and this is the reaction I get, and then you start questioning it. Should I put this out here? Should I put that out there?
Yeah.
Third step is, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like, people are gonna think what they're gonna think, and ultimately most of them are gonna be strangers, and if they're not strangers, then you have to question, like, this person that's in your life that's saying these negative things about you. Because if they're publicly saying these negative things about you, they're probably not your friend. If somebody was concerned about what you were doing, like, if I told my Facebook friends on social media, like, I haven't shit in 6 days, and they were like, hey, sounds like Astrid's on opiates, maybe I should check on her, they would send me a private message and be like, are you okay? Versus, you know, TikTok, you know, blowing me up saying like, oh, you're definitely on opiates, like, you should have your son taken away from you.
I've just been eating a lot of cheese lately.
If I ate a lot of cheese, it'd be the exact opposite. I am lactose intolerant.
Oh man, I can't imagine. I'm so damn blessed to have the body that I have. I've got the 20/20 vision. Thank goodness.
I tried to chug so many glasses of milk just so I would poo, and I just got gassy.
Oh.
That poo was so big, though, when I finally pooed.
Hey, that is like a climactic, anticipated...
I was, like, holding on the walls.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was like one of those, like, rocket ships.
I haven't been there, but I still have a lot to live, so.
My worst one, and this is gonna be disgusting, so I apologize in advance.
There's some people out there that are gonna be like, this is my shit right here.
Literally.
Literally.
So I'm 16 years old, and again, like, never had a lot of money growing up. So,
right. Oh, I've got a follow-up story to this.
This is great. I'm 16. I don't have a phone. I don't have any internet at the house, nor do I have a computer or anything like that. So I have to walk to the library every day to get on my social media.
I've been there.
Which was super important to me at the time. Kind of still is important to me, but if I lost it, like, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I wouldn't be, like, crying like I was before, where I'd be like, I can't talk to my friends on MySpace. I was both on MySpace and Facebook when I was 16. So
I never got the
both.
chance to dabble my toes in MySpace. But I make jokes about it all the time.
Definitely. I'm just old, I guess. I'm almost 30. 28.
You're making it happen.
28 in December. Close enough. Anyway, so I'm at this library, and on the way there, I'm like, I feel like bubble guts. Like, I'm cramping.
Ooh.
And, you know, being a girl, when you feel those cramps, it's like, at first it's a toss-up, like, 50% chance I'm going to start my period, 50% chance I'm going to shit my pants.
My girlfriend let me in on that one. She's taught me so much about girls. I had no idea.
So I'm sitting at this library computer, and this library's packed. Like, there's people, like, inches away from me.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got headphones in it, blasting music, and all of a sudden my stomach's like,
oh my god.
and people are staring at me, and I'm like,
oh no,
it's coming.
Oh no.
And I don't know what to do, because, like, I can't poop in public, so I just
well, I can.
I just let it pass. Like, I'm like, it's just some cramps. I'm just gonna convince myself everything's okay, and I'm gonna keep listening to music and messaging all my friends. So I'm typing up a storm, like 5 minutes later. Like, my stomach's just, like, angry, and people are staring at me, like, wide-eyed, concerned, like, what is going on, right?
If you got your headphones on, you don't hear it, but you feel it, and then you see people look at you. That's how you know.
I was mortified. So I put everything on the table so nobody would steal my computer, because that was a priority. And I went to the bathroom. I'm sweating. I'm sweating. It's so painful. Like, my cramps are painful, but, like, nothing's happening. So I'm like, whatever. Like, it's probably nothing.
Oh,
it's probably nothing. Like, you know, you're young. You just roll with it. And I go back on the computer, and again, just more bubble guts. They're so loud. I'm like, I'm gonna walk home, because, like, obviously I'm just not gonna be able to poop in public.
Dangerous.
Oh my god. Like, halfway home, like, I'm like kneeling on the ground, fetal position, because it's so painful. Like, I'm convinced I'm going to poop myself in the middle of the street.
I have been there.
I crossed through the woods, run through spider webs, like, thought I was gonna die, like, in a creek. Like, I gotta get home. I get home, my mom's like, hey, you're home early. I run in the bathroom, and I'm just sobbing.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sobbing. Nothing's coming out. It felt like an hour, but it was probably like 5 minutes before I finally just, like, let loose, and that's when I discovered I'm allergic to grapefruit.
Really? Grapefruit does that to you?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Because it looked exactly like the grapefruit that I ate.
Just doesn't process, just like a whole bite of grapefruit just
It was just like
out.
all the pulp. It was horrifying.
That's terrible.
But apparently, it comes with, so if you're allergic to latex, you're allergic to, like, grapefruit and I think pineapple.
What? No, not pineapple.
I don't know. I have a latex sensitivity from being in the medical field when I was 16 and 17. I was a volunteer nursing assistant because I wanted to be a surgeon.
Nice.
So I was building up, like, all this, like, experience. So when I applied for college, they'd see I'd be working on it, blah blah blah. I mean, obviously I never did any of that. Many regrets. But working with latex a lot, apparently some people can have, like, a negative reaction where they develop a latex sensitivity. So it's not quite an allergy that can kill you, but, like, it'll give you, like, hives and stuff.
Oh, that's not cool. That's so crazy. I don't think about any of that stuff on the day-to-day. I'm just like, I go through my life. Latex, grapefruit, milk, orange juice, whatever I want.
It's all just stuff. Yeah.
It's weird to think of life without it, or you gotta think, oh my gosh, but
Well,
having to be...
grapefruit, like, when I was a kid, you know? So, like, I never thought anything about it. Just never...
There's something, I am convinced there's something out there that I'm gonna eat one day, and I'm gonna get fucked up. And I'll be like, yep, that's the one. I've been waiting for it. I'm not allergic to anything, so one day I'm gonna eat something.
It's something gonna fuck your shit up.
Something in Japan, maybe. I want to go to Japan.
That would be so cool. The only place out of country I've been is Canada, and that's before you needed, like, passports to go to Canada.
That's dope.
I was, like, super teeny tiny. I was, like, 3 or some shit. Like, I barely remember it. I remember being in the line to cross the border in the car, and my grandpa was making fun of Beyonce because they were playing a Beyonce music video.
Seems like something a grandpa would do.
Yeah.
Here's my follow-up poop story.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. I kind of went on a tangent, but I really want to hear the story.
That's what this is for. Tangents. Just go off. Whatever. Okay. So I've got one that's me, and one that was my sister when I was little.
I already love this. Making fun of my sister is one of my favorite things ever.
Great. It's great. We lived in a trailer, okay? In a trailer park. And I would go outside and play for a very specific reason. Because my sister loves cheese. Like, loves cheese. She would take a cheese block, take it to the back of the trailer, and just munch.
That's impressive.
It is. I'm like, I don't think a lot of people can claim that they can do that. Like, I can take, like, a half a bite of cheese, and I'm like, it's too much. But she ate, like, she would eat as much as she could before my parents caught her. And when she would go to the bathroom, it was like somebody was dying. It was literally like somebody was dying. I would go outside, and you could hear it. It was like...
Oh, my God.
She would just fucking screaming. Like,
oh, no.
I don't want to imitate because people just would be concerned for my safety over here.
I think I'm murdering you.
Or vice versa or whatever, but I would be out there and just fucking screaming. And my parents would be in there, like, helping her. I don't know what they're doing to help. Emotional support, maybe.
Let me hold your hand.
I mean, I guess if I was young and I couldn't poop, I would have no idea why. I'd probably be scared. I would want somebody to be there and be like, you know what, it's going to be okay. It's going to come out. It's happening. It's coming. Don't worry. That's my sister's one.
Oh, my God.
I had a similar one to yours. After coming home from football practice. Actually, no. The poop was there before football practice. And I was like, no, we're going to go through football practice. We don't need to go to the bathroom. It's fine.
This is already a great start.
It's so good. Because I went to practice, you know. You go work out. It goes and it retreats. And it's like, I'm just going to go sit back here. And it doesn't show its face for a while. But when you're done changing my clothes... I'm like starting to feel it, and I'm like, okay, I can make it home. This is fine. I can make it. I start going, and I have to hop a fence to get home.
Oh no!
And like normally,
There's so many red flags here.
I know, right? I gotta hop a fence to get home, and like by the time I get to the fence, I had to pee real bad too. So I had already stopped and just taken a pee, like on the school grounds. Like people are still here. And I'm just like, no, I gotta fucking go. So just behind one of the portables, I was like, okay, hopefully nobody sees. Took my pee. I already did that. And that made the poop angry because it couldn't come out.
Oh,
and
no.
So I'm sitting here looking at the fence that I gotta hop over. And it's like a metal tall fence. And like I tried multiple times. But the moment that my leg lifted up, it was like, you're opening the hatches.
Oh, no.
It wants to go. And so, like 3 times, finally, I get over it, and it's dangerous. Like, I hit the ground, I jump off, and it, like, almost just fucking rockets out of my ass.
Like The Shining with the elevator doors opening, the blood just rushes out.
Exactly. Like, just imagine you jump off of a fence, you land in like a squat position, and it just fucking blows a hole straight through your fucking shorts. It's like, whoa, dude. It's a fucking superpower.
That'd be a horrible superpower.
I bet you could make money off of that.
Probably for all the wrong reasons, but yes.
But dude, you're making money off it. Just like, gather around. Watch as I jump off this fence.
And shit myself.
I wonder where I'm gonna be. I really wonder where I'm gonna be in 20 years. Because I think about these things and I'm like, dude, nobody else is doing that. Maybe I could be the first.
I'm literally in tears right now. This is great.
I'm glad.
So after you almost shit yourself, did you make it home to like?
I made it home,
poo?
but after I made it over the fence, that was when like the real pain started setting in. I was like, wow, this is serious. Like, I can't do this again. If I do this again, I'm just gonna pull over and shit myself somewhere. Pull over as I'm walking home. What are you talking about? It's just
Pull over your imaginary vehicle because you're so like not there. You're like hallucinating that you're
hallucinating
driving.
you're driving. Like, whoa, it's like, what's wrong? I got a shit, dude. So I'm going home. The pain starts to set in. Like, it's not like bubble guts. It's like there is a brick in there.
Oh no.
And then like another brick comes along and is like, you gotta move, first brick, trying to push it out of the way. And so, yeah, I'm walking home like hunched over, grabbing my stomach. I had to stop a few times. I'm on the phone with my girlfriend, by the way, just constantly. She's like trying to do her homework, read a book or something, and I'm like, babe, I gotta shit. I gotta shit. She's like, I know.
This is a lifelong relationship.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'm like, babe, I gotta shit. She's like, I know. 30 seconds later, babe, what? I gotta shit. And so all the way home, like 15 minutes of me saying that, I finally make it home. My parents did the same thing, like, oh, you're home early. I'm like, yeah, I had to get off practice early because I was about to die. And yeah, I didn't talk to them, just straight to the bathroom for like half an hour, 45 minutes. It was ready. It was prime, like, it had
just
to
sat
go.
down and just.
I don't even think I had to flush the toilet. It just.
It was so heavy. It just flushed. You know, I saw one of my coworkers posted a status today that says he doesn't have to flush his toilet. He just scares the shit out of it.
Get the fuck out. That's good. I like when people make funny puns and jokes.
I immediately sent it to my dad. My dad's like the king of dad jokes.
Dad jokes are
one
great.
of his favorite ones to tell is, what do you call ghost poop? Boo-boo.
That's good. That's good. I got... What's brown and sticky?
What is it?
Stick.
Oh, well. I assumed it was going to be poo, but that,
Exactly.
was a little too obvious for the joke. So I was like, maybe it's something even worse than poo.
That's what makes the joke good. You're like, it's brown. It's sticky. It's the perfect, what is it, adjective? Adverb? No, adjective. Right?
I don't know. I work at HEB. I clearly didn't do good in school.
Me neither. I was good at English, but all that shit went out the door. I left. It's like, this isn't useful. I won't need to learn how to speak.
I wouldn't need to learn how to speak. I'll just make up my own sign language.
Just make my own language. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Everybody will understand me. It's cool.
Smart.
They're kind of sick of my jokes at work, dude. I tell
been
this
there.
one that they absolutely hate it. Everybody will get like tired of work and everybody will start complaining, and I'm like, you know what, you guys, we should all jump in the baler together and then it'll be a suicide compact. Because the baler's what crushes the cardboard.
Oh.
So instead of a suicide pact, it's a suicide compact. I think I'm hilarious, and they hate it. They hate it.
It's so good. I've learned that if you just keep going, eventually, they just, you know what? it's easier to just let out a little giggle.
You know, God forbid I ever have to shop broth, because I come back every single time and I'm like, you know what? I had to grab chicken broth today, but we were out of stock.
Oh my God, yes. That's a good one. That's a solid 9. That's a 9. That's a 9. Oh man.
It got one of the managers one time. They're like, we were out of stock of chicken broth? And I'm like, no, we were out of stock. And they're like, what?
It's good when you get an adult, like a good adult, like they're like, oh, I'm smart, you know. I hit them with one of those.
They also work at HEB, so I don't know what you would call smart.
I mean, I'm not one
We work at a grocery store. If we were smart, we would have real jobs.
That is a real job right now.
You know, you're not wrong, and that's sad that you're not wrong. I'm really thankful for being a dumbass right now.
I'm thankful for just fucking everything.
But you know, if I would have graduated high school, not dropped out, gone to college, actually gotten good grades, I probably would be in the medical field right now, which is also booming, so...
Yeah,
yikes.
That is true, but do you really want to be there right now?
I mean... It goes back to what I was saying when I like taking care of the community. I like to feel like I'm helping, like I'm important. And I like the feeling when somebody else is happy and I was able to help that feeling come out of them. So like saving someone's life, for example, like that would be a really good feeling for me. Like to go home every day and know that like, yeah, like it's a pandemic and a lot of people are dying, but like I helped out that one family today and that was nice. Or like I helped ease someone's passing. Yeah. Or, you know, like I spent 8 hours on this surgery and I think it went really well. And like my mom was saying like, because now I'm at the path where like I want to be like maybe a mortician or something. And she's like, I don't think you can handle that because like you go back and forth between this like depressive state of mind. And she doesn't think that I can handle something like that. But it's less seeing a dead person and more paying them those last respects.
Yeah.
So like it's the same with surgery. Like you still respect that person alive or dead, and you're trying your hardest to make the best out of their life. It's not about you, it's about them. So even if like there's a really low chance of this person surviving with this surgery, you are making that 100% effort to help them, help their family, and it goes, like, even if that person passes, you know, you're doing your best, man. Like...
Yeah, I mean, that's something I've been telling myself and my girlfriend for a long time. As long as you're doing your best, and, you know, you're doing it for the right reasons, you're doing it for those good reasons, whatever the good reasons are. You're not trying to do anything malicious. Do your best, and that's really all you can. That's really all you can ask from yourself. I mean, what are you gonna do past that? I mean,
there's always gonna be times where like surgeons and stuff go home and they feel really bad. Like my patient died, like they didn't make it, or like the surgery that I did caused an infection, and you're gonna feel responsible for that. But sometimes that's just the way the cards play out. Like. As long as you know you're good at your job, like sometimes that's just, it is what it is. And you have to look at all the positive things you did instead of focusing on that one negative.
That one negative can become a blanket and just cover everything else. And you don't even see it. You just see the blanket, which is the negative thing, and that's all you pay attention to. And it's so easy.
It really is.
So easy.
I do it all the time, and I try not to.
I think everybody does that. One thing that I like to remind people is that you're not alone. You're not alone in your mental struggles.
Sorry, I choked on my vape.
Freaking choked on vape.
Well, sometimes it's an older mod, and sometimes when it's full of juice like this, a little, like, hot piece of juice will, like... Sometimes it hits my lip, sometimes it hits my tongue, and this one, like, shot in the back of my throat and, like, burned my throat. I just need to invest in a better mod.
If you look at it as an investment every time, you can always spend money on it.
Yep. We should get into the vaping industry and just make faulty mods like Apple does. Like Apple, you constantly have to buy a more expensive product every year.
Dude,
We'll do that, but with cigarettes.
I mean, you could bring that to somebody, and they're like, yeah, I mean, we're doing it right now. I mean, like, we're way ahead of you. Do you want in? Like, you want to invest or what? Like, we already know.
This isn't a new concept.
Yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. Like, oh, you're one of those goody two-shoes. You don't like to screw people over. It's crazy to think that there's people out there that that's their thing. They're just like, yep, this is a loophole. This is what it does to people. I get money, I don't give a fuck.
There's one word for that. Selfishness.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh.
You're focused so much on yourself and benefiting yourself that you don't worry about those around you. And
Yeah.
I think ultimately people in that mindset are more depressed than anyone else. Like, yeah, you have all these things that you've gained for yourself. You may be in a high position because of your manipulation. You may have high finances. You may have everything you dreamed of having, but are you happy? No, because you hurt so many people crawling up that ladder.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's the reason I don't go like the business route. I was going to. Like, I was like, I'm going to just dive headfirst into this. I've got people that would be happy to do business with me, and we can work something out. We'll make it happen. But it's like, really, I feel like pretty much no matter what industry you're in, it has the chance of corruption, or the only way to run it is to have some small element of corruption.
Yeah.
So it kind of, I don't know. It's not really fulfilling to me.
You could get like a business degree and make your own business and kind of like build it with like positive people.
You could. I think there's easier and potentially more impactful ways to do what you want. I guess for me, it's really not my passion. It's not my thing. It's not like, oh, that's calling me. I need to start a business.
Well, it's just like a business in general doesn't sound appealing, but like what you're doing right now could be a business. Like anything could be a business. Like I could make a business selling used tampons. Like it is what it is.
I guess, yeah, widen the horizon for the definition of business.
You know what I found today?
Some air.
That would be beautiful because it's a little humid right now.
It is fucking humid. That breeze needs to come on back.
I was I just emptied the last of my storage unit and I'm going through everything, and a while back this old lady gave me a TY Beanie Baby and she said, oh, this is worth so much money, I want you to have it because I'm going to die. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I love you too. Thank you for this stuffed animal. And I'm thinking, like, this Beanie Baby is probably worth like $20-$50, right? So I put it in storage. I forget all about it. For me, it was more like a memory of this person I was caring for. She was a very sweet lady. Always took care of me as I took care of her. It was kind of like equal exchange.
Relationships work like that.
Yeah. I really enjoyed her company while I was with her. And I kept on to that. And recently, today, I was going through this stuff and I hand my mom this Beanie Baby and I'm like, hey, I have way too much stuff. She gave me a lot of stuff. And can you just Google this real quick, see how much it's worth? Because later on tonight, I'm going to list everything on eBay. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, if it's just like $20, I'll just, you know, put it in the donation bin and we'll call it a day. So my mom Googles it. $15,000.
What the fuck?
I'm staring at my mom like, that's not real. That's not real. It's got to be way less than that. And she's like, yeah, probably. Like, that's what it's saying is the listing, but let's see, like, eBay realistically. So she pulls up this, like, there's apparently, like, an official TY Beanie Baby, like, business website to show you, like, all the analytics, what goes into, like, making that Beanie Baby, like, worth what it is, everything. So we're looking at this website, and we're comparing my model of Beanie Baby to whatever thing they have listed as, like, what the most expensive is.
Yeah.
So realistically, if I were to list this Beanie Baby on eBay, I could make $5,000 on that Beanie Baby, which is still an astronomical amount of money for a stuffed animal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with this information at this point, because I'm thinking I could list this thing and make $50 easy. Like, I have items that I was planning on listing on eBay. Like, I have a name brand Coach journal that I was gonna list, and that goes for like $30 to $50. And I was thinking, like, that's gonna be the most expensive item I own.
Right.
Little did I know that this little tiny rainbow stuffed animal, $5,000. Like,
that changes the whole game. Like,
even though it's not that $15,000 it was originally showing, like, $5,000 is so much money.
that is.
I could buy a car. My car is falling apart. My check engine light came on while I was headed here. I loved that. It was like, oh, that's great.
I'm so fortunate to have my car. I'm spoiled. Because I worked hard as fuck when I was a kid to have a high enough income to be approved for a nice car. I was able to get it with decent payments. It's a 2019, so I don't have to worry about maintenance. Oh my god, it's so great. I hope that maybe you can get like a down payment or something with that $5,000.
Definitely. Like,
and then you can get a nice car, and then you're like, fuck, check engine light. I don't even have to think about that.
Exactly. Like, I would love to do that, but right now it's just, I'm $2,000 behind on my apartment, which is great.
I feel you on the debt thing.
I've got $780 in my bank account, so like maybe at the end of the month I could be like, here's $1,000, and I got you
I'll make
later.
Some eggs for breakfast tomorrow.
I'll suck your dick for a discount.
I don't have that option. I mean, I do. Actually,
you do.
I do, actually.
It's just if you're willing to do that.
I think there's some consequences that come with it.
Probably, I wouldn't. No, definitely haven't done that before. Anyway,
we've all been through good stuff. It makes you
good and bad. It's just whatever.
Oh yeah, you said you regret a whole bunch of things. Something that I decided when I was a kid is that I don't regret anything because I'm where I'm at, and even if I'm dying because of some disease that I got because I made a stupid decision, I'm still happy to be where I'm at. I experienced all these amazing things in life up until there.
I wish I could feel that way.
You can.
I really do.
You can.
I don't know
promise.
how. I physically don't know how. There's so many things that have happened, so many traumas, so many situations that I myself have put myself in, and it's hard to get past those.
It's really hard. That's where perspective comes in. Perspective is like single-handedly changed my life. It full 180, like flipped my shit upside down. Like once I realized that you can look at things however you want to. Granted, that's so much easier said than done.
It really is, because I don't know how to flip these situations into something positive, if that makes any sense.
Finding the silver lining is hard. It is so hard. Fuck, I had a thing. Fuck. I don't know. Finding the silver lining is really hard sometimes. But how to do it, I have my own way of doing it. I was a habitual liar as a kid, like straight up, like it. Think of it as like a fucking disease. Like I wasn't the victim of it. I brought it all on myself. Well, not all of it. I think my circumstances as a kid brought it on me and made it way easier to go that route. But anyway, it was a disease. It was the hardest thing to get rid of, and I think that made me really mentally strong to be able to get rid of it. And then it left me with this golden, fucking solid gold nugget in the middle of it. Like, that golden nugget is surrounded by all that nasty shit that's lying. You remove all of that, and you get through it, you're left with this fucking nugget. And that is that I know how to get what I want, and I don't use that in a bad way anymore. And I can also fucking make myself believe whatever the fuck I want because I was such a good liar.
That is incredible. Because
the fucking amount and complexity of the stories that you come up with as a habitual liar, you don't come up with that shit unless you're a fucking movie writer. Like, you like, and then to keep it consistent when your dad asks you today, and then he's like, oh, okay, whatever. And then tomorrow comes along, oh, so what happened with that thing again? I forgot. And
oh my
you have
God,
to keep it going. And so
sounds really difficult. I'm a terrible liar, by the way.
It's difficult.
Like, if somebody were... I guess that's why I keep myself such an open book, is because I'm such a bad liar that if somebody asks me a question, like, my coworkers sometimes will be like, can you keep a secret? I'm like, no, straight up, no, I can't. Because if somebody asks
don't tell me.
If somebody asks me about it, my face immediately will be a dead giveaway, because I cannot lie for some reason.
It's a skill.
Like, I'll try to. There will be situations where I myself need to keep something to myself for my own benefit, and I physically just I just whoop.
You thirsty here? It's hot in here.
That's pretty much me.
I know exactly how that feels. And you know what? You brought up something that makes me think. I think I'm such an open book now because I was so on the other side of that. I was so closed up and so deceptive and like, you don't know what's going on with me. You don't know what's going on in here. You have no clue. You don't know what I did. No, I didn't do that. What are you talking about? And so now it's just all out there.
For sure.
But I think back to the way to be able to flip things around, that's what makes it so that I can do it. I just straight up lie to myself. Well, no, it's not. I don't think you can consider it a lie. It's like, no, this is the way it is.
Manipulating the way you see things, perhaps?
Exactly. Yeah, just going in and changing it. You're like, oh, that's not a 0. That's supposed to be an 8. You change it to an 8, and then an hour later it changes back to a 0. And then you're like, oh, fucking 0? Here's an 8. And then once you do it enough times, it stays an 8. It doesn't go back to a 0.
I wish I could do that. I really do.
I think everybody has it within them to do that.
I've genuinely tried to have positive outlooks around it, and there's just a few things where there's a lot of PTSD behind it that kind of, I don't know, like blankets everything. Where like you make all this progress over the course of these months, and you kind of move past it and you stop thinking about it and you start having like a better outlook on life, and then it just kills itself, just like stabs itself repeatedly, and just like blood splatters everywhere and people are screaming and it's like World War II and everybody's just like gunfire and it's like
that does sound like PTSD.
It feels like that.
Yeah, I think PTSD is a misunderstood thing. I don't think people realize the levels that you can have it. They think PTSD, they think, oh, soldier, he's in the war and he's got PTSD because he killed somebody or whatever, or he saw something. No, PTSD can be because you got your fucking ass whooped as a kid, and now you have dreams about it or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be some huge thing that other people perceive as traumatizing.
And you can have like multiple triggers too. It doesn't have to be one specific situation. Like, one could be bigger than the other, but it's like, for me, like, I have lots of things that will send me into a panic because it's rough, you know? Like, I still wake up with nightmares over the most recent thing.
Nightmares are no fun. I don't like nightmares. They're not nice.
They're not fun. I feel like it's about 2:00 in the morning, like, pretty routinely.
That's not fun.
And then I'll go months without thinking about it, and then I'll come back, and then 2:00 again, like, wake up, and I'm like, no, no, I'm not, no.
I don't... See, this is something I've been thinking about for months. My girlfriend has the same thing. She has nightmares all the time. They've been getting better lately.
Good.
Yeah, thankfully, because I don't know what to do. I can tell you what I would do. I just be like, okay, nightmare happened. I move on. I go on with my day, right foot, left foot, right foot, left foot, and I move on. I forget about it. It is what it is. I'm not gonna change that I had a nightmare. I'm just gonna keep moving.
Yeah.
It sucks because it made me feel like shit. But beyond that, what else did it do? It impacted my morning, making my day kind of shitty. I don't know. That's how I think about it. But the way that I think about things doesn't generally translate to other people's way of dealing with things.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've been trying really hard to figure out a way, or what's the factor that you change? What's that number where you're like, oh, that one's out of place. You change that one right there, and you'll see some improvement. And I'm not quite sure. I think living a happier life while you're awake impacts how you sleep. And so, like, obviously that's a huge blanket statement. Like, oh, just live a happier life and you'll dream
I'm
better.
cured.
Yay.
Thanks, Doc. I'm cured.
But I think I'll prerequisite this whole thing with think long term. Don't think tomorrow. Don't think next week. Don't think, maybe think next month. But think like, okay, 3 months from now, I should see step 1 of this 10-step thing that I'm going through. I'll see step 1, which is like, okay, I made it up the first rung on the ladder. Like, I feel a little bit better. They're not happening as much. So longer term thinking tends to be more logical, and it helps for me because I'm not so like, oh, what am I going to do right now? Okay, tomorrow it has to be better. It's got to be better tomorrow. If it's not better tomorrow, then it doesn't work. That crushes people's ambitions and dreams, I think, when it doesn't happen right now.
But sometimes you'll go, like, for me, like, you'll make it up those steps, and you'll get, like, to, like, step 5 out of 10, and you'll be feeling great, and then all of a sudden something will happen that pushes you all the way back down, and then you have to make that progress again, and it's just, it kind of feels never-ending, because, like, my most recent trauma happened in January, where I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and her husband tried to murder us and our children.
Oh, wow.
And I literally saved her life, and she shit on me for it.
What?
Yeah. Like,
You don't do that.
it was horrible. Like, we were engaged.
Wow.
And he came at us with, like, a saw blade and was going to, like, bash her fucking face in. And I threw him on the bed, and I punched him, dislocated my middle finger.
Oh, shit.
Like, there was so much damage in, like, the whole entire house. He threw, like, one of those giant box TVs, like, from the 90s on top of his son, and, like, she had to, like, block it, so, you know, he didn't, like, TV was plugged in and everything, like,
Wow.
we don't know what would have happened, but I know that I put him in jail, and she blamed me for it, spent money that I gave her for bills to bail him out of jail, and then told me I was unreasonable for not forgiving him because he felt bad. And, it's kind of like, you make progress to move past, like, hey, the love of my life just took, like, a massive shit on me, and moving past, like, the trauma that, you know, like, you almost fucking died, you almost watched your children die, your stepchildren die, your fiance die.
Yeah.
Like, you watched all that, like, the look in his eyes as he was doing it. Like, all those are things that will send me back down all that progress that I made.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to get to the point of just being okay and not thinking about it anymore.
That one, that's definitely a heavy one.
It's not easy. I feel like it's getting
not at
easier
all.
lately. Like, obviously I'm talking about it. I'm not crying like I was.
Yeah, I mean, that right there, that's what you're on, like, step 2 or 3.
I feel that way. It honestly feels like a step 7 for me to be in this position.
Nice, dude.
The progress has been astronomical, because before I couldn't think about it without breaking down. Customers at the grocery store would say "excuse me" from behind me, and I would break down crying, and I'd have to sit down. Everything would scare me. I'd be afraid that he would come into my store, find me, and try to murder me.
That's a legitimate thing,
It was terrifying, because I know my fiance, she knew how to get into my department. She knew the store layout, like she knew everything, and she was mad at me because I wasn't forgiving him, because she wanted to have this beautiful polyamorous relationship that I was involved in when I had no interest in him from the beginning. She even claimed that I was in love with him, and that I seduced him and then denied him, and that's what made him snap, is because I led him on. When the only interactions I had with this man is sitting next to him on the couch playing video games. Or one time we went out on a friend date, quote unquote, because I never liked him. He's always been abusive towards her. And I mean, like, it does make me a piece of shit that I wanted him out of the picture. But, like, she also wanted him out of the picture. Like, she would tell me all the time that she was done with him, that she was tired of it, that she wanted to move out, and I told her I would get a house for us. All the kids could move in. We could have this, like, beautiful house together, beautiful life together. Yeah. She proposed to me at one of my shows. It kind of solidified everything. And, like, my goal was just to be content with all 3 of us living together. And me making these steps to be his friend and taking him out to, like, go do things like go drinking and, like, learning more about him, so I didn't want to fucking strangle him when he would have episodes, because he's got some, like, bipolar issues. Like,
that's tough.
It was okay at first, though, because, like, his mood swings, they were never super serious when I was living there.
Well, that's good.
The only super serious mood swing that he had was what happened. Yeah. So that obviously, and that's when I was living there. He had mood swings where I wasn't living there, where I would have to drive all the way to Taylor from where I was living, where they lived at the time, and I'd have to come rescue her. Like, I've picked her up off the floor. You know, like, she's crying, covered in vomit, trying to drive her car to go find him, like, you know, drunk as shit. Like, I mean, ultimately, it was a really toxic relationship. Actually, this tattoo is, it's a bug zapper, and she has a moth tattooed on her arm, and we got them together. Do you remember when the moth memes were popular?
I feel like...
Brother,
maybe.
Send me the light.
Oh, yeah.
We thought those memes were hilarious, so we got tattoos of them.
That's cute.
But I didn't want a lamp. I wanted a bug zapper because it's, like, kind of gothy and edgy.
Yeah.
Kind of fits my aesthetic. And when we broke up, I didn't want to cover it up because I didn't want to cover up, like, the memory of that. Because the time that me and her had spent together was good. I still love her. She's a beautiful person. She was just broken and had her rough spots.
That's what I was gonna say.
But the person she is today, and the trauma that she's caused me, I wanted to kill her. So I put a dead moth underneath the bug zapper.
Oh, wow.
So she's dead to me. That's a coping mechanism.
If it felt like the right thing to do, and it feels like the right thing to do,
you know,
probably. I
still love her, but she's definitely dead to me, and I will never forgive her for everything that she's put me through.
I don't think...
like, a lot of my shit's still at her house, if she hasn't thrown it away yet. I'm sure she kept a lot of it. Like, I've got, like, stripper shoes over there, a Victoria's Secret bra, my bed. I literally just bought a bed today.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. I finally have a place to sleep, because I refuse to go over there and grab my shit, because fuck her.
Yeah, no, from what it sounds like, I mean, I'm sure there's things that you can justify in your head where you're like, I fucked up here.
I fucked up just getting in that relationship as a whole. There were so many red flags. I think red flags.
Through any kind of experience, whatever it is. We'll just categorize that one as just one whole big thing. It's one big chunk of your life. From that whole thing, there's endless lessons that you can just pick out, and you're like, oh, well, I learned this. Write it down. Oh, I learned this.
Not to date crazy women. Especially
write it down.
If they have red hair.
Redheads, thankfully, throughout my life have treated me pretty well.
I have a redhead weakness. If you are chunky, if you are short, and if you have red hair, you are my weakness.
You hear that? I better watch out.
I like them thick girls.
I've got a very, very, very specific preference.
I really do too.
My girlfriend.
You know, that is very specific.
Very specific. Like one
but
in like
out of
7
everything
billion.
I've heard about her in this conversation, like I
She's
feel
a
that.
master farter.
You know, that's soulmate material, honestly. If you can love someone for their farts, you already know that you guys are soulmates.
I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't. Me personally, if somebody, some stranger, just like ripped a fat one in the bathroom or whatever, I've been waiting for that my whole life. For me to be like, dude, that was good. That was a good one. Like,
it's, you know, I can laugh about this now because it happened like 4 years ago, but my baby daddy actually punched me over a fart.
Are you serious?
I'm not even
If
fucking
you're out
kidding.
there, you motherfucker, why not just laugh at it? It's a fart, dude. It makes a funny flappy sound, and it's great.
It was funny because the underwear I was wearing at the time, I was in only my underwear. We were getting ready for bed, and my underwear said #no filter on the butt. And I was trying to initiate some like sexy time. I was like, hey. You wanna, do that thing? And he's like, nah, I just want to go to bed. I'm like, respect, that's cool. And I rolled over and I farted. Like, it wasn't even a big fart, it was just a fart. And, like, I fart all the time. Like,
Me too. It's great.
Constantly it doesn't matter where I am. I could be at work and like one of my favorite jokes is knock knock, who's there? And then I fart.
That is so fucking, that is golden.
I'm waiting for someone to like fart and say who. But like I farted. It's like a normal part of our lives.
Just think about it, like,
and he punched me,
it's
and I was
fucking
just
natural.
I just didn't understand what warranted a punch. And then he lied to like all my friends saying like I sat on his face and farted, and I'm like, I was under the covers, sir.
Hold on.
Even if I farted on your face, why would you punch me?
I don't understand. Okay, so he's offended by the fart, right? So he punches you.
Yes.
But then he tells people that you farted on his face. That seems a little bit more offensive. I mean, maybe it's just
it definitely is
category
like
of people.
Disrespectful if I were to like say like, hey, give me your dick. No, you're not gonna give me your dick. All right, I'm gonna sit on your face and shit myself. Like, that would be very disrespectful.
Yeah.
But would you punch someone over that?
I mean,
Someone that you love, that you have a child with.
No, they don't do that.
But I didn't do that. That's the thing. I just rolled over. Like, our butts were at the same length. Our heads were at the same length. But I just rolled over and I farted. Like, I wasn't even mad that we weren't gonna fuck. Like, it was like, cool, we're going to bed. Like, I'm not even mad about that.
Maybe he was like, oh, farts mean one thing to me. And it's like, I'm mad.
Well, this is gonna make you so confused.
I'm already so confused.
So, our very first date, I told him that we couldn't be together until we farted into each other's buttholes. And we literally did
Very specific.
fart into each other's buttholes. We put our butts up against each other and we both farted, and I was like, I'm gonna marry this man.
That takes commitment. You have to know that it's coming, notify that it's coming, and you're like, okay, are you ready?
It was immediate. It was like, we have to do this. And he was immediately like, yes. We pressed our, and I didn't think he was going to do it. And it happened. And I was like, we have to date. Like, this is too funny not to be in a relationship.
That's something I can't say I've ever done. So.
We had a great relationship together. We actually were together for 4 years. Our second year, like a year after we were together, we decided to have a child together.
Okay.
His mom passed away when our child was a little over 1 year old, and that made him into a different person.
That can change somebody.
It really did. It affected me also, because me and his mom were really close.
Oh, man.
So, I mean, like, I felt like I also lost a mother, and we were mourning together, and I understand it was a lot harder on him. He was definitely a mama's boy. So it was really, really hard on him, and I tried my best to support him, and he was just a constant decline, and I kept trying to do my best to support him, and it just got worse and worse and worse, and then that fucking punching thing happened, and I left the next day. Like, I told
Good on
him,
you.
well, I told him very early on in the relationship, like, if you touch me, I'm leaving. No excuses, no second chances. I have been abused by so many relationships that it's never happening again. If you touch me one time, it's over. I don't care.
That's a good
and I still
boundary
live to that.
to put.
I still live to that.
That is a fantastic boundary to have. I don't think a lot of people that have been through abusive stuff put that boundary there. They just like, oh no, I deserve it for whatever their justification is.
I think what helped me put that together is watching my mom get abused my whole childhood.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to speak on her relationship, put her business out there, but I mean, I watched some really fucked up shit happen to my mom, and I learned a lot from that. I learned that it's true that you look for the same type of men as your father, and I definitely have a weakness for very toxic males in my life, and it's what made me decide that I don't want to be with any males, because typically, like, very nice males don't appeal to me. I don't get along with them, like, relationship wise.
Yeah.
Like, I would rather be in that toxic relationship, and then when I'm in that toxic relationship, I say, why?
That's an interesting one. I had a talk with one of my friends last night about that same thing. I was like, how does that work? I've never been in a toxic relationship, and I've never been in that situation where I can't leave, or I keep going back. I don't understand how it works.
I don't understand either. I really don't. I have put myself in those situations so many times, and every time I tell myself it's going to be different. This time is going to be different. There's so many red flags, but this time is going to be different. And then it ends up the same exact situation.
Wait, so there's so many red flags.
So, like, you'll get together I'll use one of my exes as an example. I was working at, not this HEB, but another HEB. And one of the night stalkers would go through my line when I was a cashier. And I was closing pretty often, and that's when they come in. So they come in, they get all their snacks and stuff for the evening before we close out. And I would do this thing where I thought this guy was cute, so I'd, like, take off my work shirt after I was done with my shift, and I'd flaunt myself, I'd be all cute. And one of the produce managers invited me to another partner's birthday party. And I was like, I don't have any friends, like, I'll go. So I go to this birthday party, and that night stalker guy's there. And I do my best to just be friends with all these people, but, like, I'm attracted to this person. I don't know what attracts me to him, but I'm attracted to him. Turns out he has a girlfriend, so I'm like, cool, like, respect.
Yeah.
Then his birthday comes up, and he invites me to his birthday party, and I'm like, dope, like, I
Another
really
birthday
like
party.
you, so, like, I'm gonna come hang out with you, like, maybe break up with your girlfriend, I can slide in there, you know? We both got trashed. Like, we both got super trashed, and we ended up banging in the work parking lot.
Oh man! And wait, we didn't have the breakup and then the slide in.
He was cheating on his girlfriend.
Oh man, that's so tough. Oh no, don't do that.
The thing is, during this birthday party, before we had banged, he was telling me, like, how they were gonna get engaged, and, you know, like, he was in love with her, and, you know, like, he had told me all that stuff. But after we banged, and I literally brought him a Bang energy drink after, like, for his shift the next day, I was like, I caught feels, you know, like, it's what triggered that was I gave him the bang, and he's like, wow, that's girlfriend material. And I was like, that's fucking right.
That's fucking right, you bitch.
I became a side bitch. But while I was the side bitch, he would manipulate me by saying that, oh, him and Bree were having troubles, and, you know, they were breaking up, and she was going to take the house, and blah, 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 and this was this, and that was that, and you're going to be my one and only, and we're going to move in together, and I'm going to help take care of your son, and blah, blah, blah. And deep in my head, I knew that was all a lie. They're still tagging each other on Facebook. I'm still a secret. He's hiding me from everyone. I know that they're in love with each other. I know they're engaged. I'm sitting next to him while he's on the phone with his girlfriend, telling her that he loves her, making dinner plans. Still, while he feeds me all these lies of, you're my only one, we're gonna be together, I'm gonna break up with her, you just have to wait. I hung on to that.
You gotta... it seems like you're hanging on to the wrong things there. You need to pick one of those red flags and fucking grab that motherfucker and don't let it go.
But at the time, in my head, I was just so content with just being the fucking... I thought she was the side bitch at that point. I was convincing myself that his girlfriend at that point was the side bitch, even though deep down I knew all this shit was the other way around. You know, like,
get in touch with that deep down. You gotta...
Oh my god, and I do this every single time. Like, I get in these situations, I put myself in these situations, and I convince myself that this is just normal. That everything's perfect, this relationship's different, and I'm gonna convince myself that all these lies I'm being told are accurate.
So, when you said you can't lie to yourself, you can't change that 0 to an 8. You can change the 0 to an 8. But you're doing it in the opposite direction. You're changing the 0 to like a -8.
I can see that.
So you have it in you to do that. You have it in you to convince yourself of whatever you want. You've proven it to yourself time and time again, like you're saying.
I guess. I just am not conscious of it.
Self-awareness. Self-awareness is so useful. Paying attention.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, it's a skill.
It
You
sounds
gotta
like a
fucking
really...
learn that shit, and you gotta pay attention.
You need to do classes on that. I would pay for that. I would pay just to feel okay. Get into therapy, learn how to teach people that, and I will give you all my money right now.
Don't give me all your money. I'll take like $2.
You don't have $2 right now.
No.
I also have lottery tickets because I have a severe gambling problem.
I was gonna say, let's go grab one, just see what happens.
I bought tonight's the Mega Millions. The Mega Millions, it is not high right now, so I got a Mega Millions with the Mega Plier, which means like if you don't win the jackpot but you win some money, like it could multiply that amount.
It.
Yeah. So like I could get, like, if I win $7, I could turn into $14, and then it's like, yay.
So take that concept of being able to turn that $7 into $14 and take your $100 that you saved up and turn it into $200, turn that into $400. You can do it on your own.
I'm trying. I got $780 in my bank account right now.
That's fucking more than I got. It's more than I got.
Just trying to pay rent.
Dude, I feel that.
My rent's $1,000, and my landlord's working with me right now. I just moved in this new place, and he says I can get him that security deposit as soon as possible, which is another $1,000.
Security deposits suck balls.
Well, for most places, they only ask for a couple $100s, but this is like a really weird situation where my credit's really shitty, and he didn't do a background check, which he could have. My background's clean. But he's basically renting out these spaces really cheap to, like, people with poor credit and criminals.
Okay.
And because he's taking such a high risk putting these people in these apartments.
That makes sense.
These people could trash the apartment. They could, like, murder someone in the apartment. He doesn't know what's going to happen. So that security department covers, like, a whole shit ton of damages.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Versus, like, a normal person with good credit and a good background, they're probably just gonna put some, like, nail holes in the walls or get the carpet dirty with, like, pet stains, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense, for sure. Security deposits still suck. I don't give a fuck. I
don't want to fuck this guy over because he's trusting a stranger a lot right now, and I want to prove that. Bug beat me.
Fucking bug. I got stung in the neck by a wasp the other day. It sucks. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is that? It was walking on me, and I pressed it, and it just like, sticking my finger and fuck you up. Yeah, it sucks. I don't recommend it.
I want you to pull that imitation of the wasp, and that's just gonna.
I'll send it to you.
I want you to put that on everything.
I'll send it to you. I'll put it as my notification.
I'm gonna
Somebody
put it on
text
my phone.
me.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody text me. Oh, I got that one. That's good. There's gonna be a lot of good little sound bites. Take out of this. There's so much that we talked about that you could just go back and just.
You have a lot of editing to do, I'm sure. We got off topic so many times. We didn't even have a topic. We just kind of like went on like a tangent.
That's the whole point. I want somebody to feel like they're sitting right here and they're just listening. They don't get to talk, but they get to listen.
I mean, they could talk. We just can't hear them.
I guess so. Yeah. They can talk in the comments after I post it and be like, I feel this way. And be like, dude, great, you're entitled to feel that way. That's great. I'm happy for you.
I'm happy for you.
So once this pandemic hit, I had this thought. I was like, you know what? Actually, before the pandemic, it's just so many different people with different opinions that feel like my opinion's on the top. It matters the most. Like, whatever. Like, no, this is how it's supposed to be because of this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, that's a lot. You bring in like fucking 50,000 of those. What the fuck are you gonna do? I mean, I don't know. Point is, I was like, you know what? Thanos was fucking smart. He's like, too many opinions, too many people here. We can't do it. There's too much. We don't have the shit to provide for all these people. Just fucking instantly snap your fingers. They're gone. Now, the idea of it, yeah, it's like, oh, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, you wipe out like this many people. And I'm not suggesting this by any means. I'm not.
I mean, I'm definitely following along. And while I'm not going to publicly agree that may or may not be beneficial, we definitely shouldn't do that. But
I don't think we should do that, and I don't think it's an option. I think it's a thought that you could entertain, and it's kind of interesting and funny. And
that's like going on Hitler grounds.
It is.
I hate this group of people. Let's kill them. And it's like,
so it's
I like that mindset, but you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
I agree. I think that this is so. I'm gonna cancel myself before I even get started.
Oh, I canceled myself a long time ago.
No, you know what? I don't give a fuck because I'm not supporting this idea. I'm saying I thought about this. What would happen if that did happen? That's my thought. I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, I can't think about that. No, can't think about it. Can't think about what would happen if that did happen. No, I'm gonna entertain the idea. What the fuck would happen? There would be less people. There would be less opinions. I think we would be able to function better.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's
There's
one
lots
group.
of pros and cons.
Yes.
With everything.
And it's not one group of people. It's like
10 groups of people.
However many. I think we need those 10 groups of people.
We definitely need the controversy to have a balance. Mm-hmm. There has to be two sides.
Yeah, I thought Democrats were like the shit. I was like, oh, it's Democratic, that's the way to go. But you can go way fucking far.
Yeah.
That way. And I didn't realize that until all this madness hit and I was paying attention for a minute and I was like, hold up, you guys can't. No, we're not just giving everybody free shit. We can't do that.
But it's on both sides. So when I look at like, we're looking at Biden and Trump right now, and
oh yeah, I can't.
There's pros and cons to both of them, and I feel like each of them have. And this is gonna cancel me for both sides, honestly. But I feel like there's equal pros and equal cons to both of them.
I think you have justification to be right in the middle.
Honestly, I'm gonna further cancel myself so we can be assholes, because like you're like, I'm gonna cancel myself, but like I honestly did cancel myself a long time ago. Facebook has been doing this thing where like your memories, like you'll be able to view your memories, but you won't like, comment, or react to any of these memories, right? You won't share them.
Okay.
But for some reason my friends have been able, on that day of my memory, comment on my memories.
Don't you have to share it for them to be able to see it?
Exactly what I thought, but it's happened a few times to me where somebody will like see one of my memories that they're not tagged in, their friends aren't tagged in, it hasn't been shared, and one of the call-outs I had was about 6 years ago. I thought it was acceptable to say the N-word.
Oh, okay.
Not with a hard R, that was part of my vocabulary based off my friend group, and I thought that it was just acceptable for me to say that. And like my friend was like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, oh, I forgot that was part of my personality, honestly. Like, there's growth that we go through, and
it's two different people. That is two
really
different people. It
is, and I feel like there's some truth in, like, I hate Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star's canceled. But there's some truth in his original statement when he got called out for being a racist, is there's people who grow past that. Now, I do feel like Jeffree Star is, quote-unquote, growing past that for social media purposes, but, like, me as a human being naturally grew past that and showed everybody I grew past that, because I haven't used that word in years. Like, it's not an acceptable word.
Can we just... There's a man over here that is a fucking perfect specimen of a fucking... What's the word? A jock. I think.
You know?
Look at this fucking dude.
He's a beast.
My God. Dude, you're a fucking... That's a gorgeous man.
I want to describe this to whoever's listening.
Let's try and provide some imagery here.
There's a very buff man in some very tight shorts.
The ass cheeks are showing.
You know, he's very thick.
He's like a fucking a tree trunk, like, and he's fucking smooth.
You know,
God
like,
damn, he's smooth.
If I was next to that man, I'd be imitated. I'm intimidated with just being 10 feet away from him.
Intimidated?
Yes.
Okay.
If he came up to us right now, I'd be scared.
I don't think I would be scared. I think...
Look at how fast he is.
My guy is fast, too. Fucking A, bro. Barefoot, too. He's a fucking jungle man. And the sunglasses.
He's gonna get bit by ants.
Dude,
I'm afraid of bugs.
He has
You know, I say I'm afraid of bugs. Do you know how many bug tattoos I have on me? I have so many.
12.
I wish I had that many.
8.
This is my biggest one.
That's fucking crazy.
I have bugs everywhere. I got my dead moth. I've got my roach. I've got my spider here. I've got a spider on my ankle. I've got a butterfly on my back. I probably have more. I honestly forget half the tattoos I have until somebody points them out.
Seems like once you have them for long enough, you're just like, yeah, it's there.
You know,
forget about
I don't even know which one's my most recent one, if I'm being completely honest.
I like the...
My naked lady?
I didn't see that one, but yeah, sure. the fucking... Tina, yes.
I get so many compliments on my Tina tattoo. This is the tattoo that everyone compliments. My sister actually has Louise. It's our sister tattoos. I asked her what she wanted for her birthday, and she said matching tattoos. She thinks I am Tina, and she identifies as Louise. Now, watching the TV show, I definitely think I'm more of a Jean.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm definitely awkward like Tina, though. And I do like the whole, like... and I'm obsessed with butts, so...
It's an appropriate obsession, I think.
I really like butts. You know, like, we're like looking at that guy's butt, complimenting his butt. Like, I like butts. I guarantee you, if any person who's ever walked past me, I have looked at your butt. You are
Probably.
not exempt from this.
I mean,
have definitely looked at your butt.
I've looked at a lot of butts out there. I mean,
It's not a sexual thing for me. It's just
no.
like I want to know what your butt looks like.
not to be like, oh, I rate people, but like, I want to see what do we got going on here. You know,
Yes.
what's going on is
I wouldn't say I'm sexualizing the butt, but
nah.
I can sexualize a butt.
Of course,
easily.
it's a fucking butt. I mean,
Butts are nice.
I mean, I got nothing. This man right here.
What they say about Astrid is they say the ass is the best asset of Astrid. And that is
That's-
a tongue twister.
I mean, you gotta have a best part, I guess. If they want that to be the best part. I'm like, there's no words to, like,
I wonder if you can hear us.
appropriately
We're not
describe.
being quiet.
I don't give a fuck.
I don't either. I'm half wanting him to come over here
I
and
know,
be like,
I'm like-
would you like to touch it? I'd be like, oh, go.
He would come up, would you like to touch it? Fucking, he's a prime specimen.
It really,
He,
honestly.
like, if he doesn't model, he needs to model. Holy shit. So, I was thinking that plugging this in, because this microphone it's a USB microphone. It gets powered from the USB. And I'm like, okay, it's gonna drain my battery. This motherfucker's at 92%.
No way!
I could record like a 10-hour podcast. Not that I will. There'd be too much bullshit in there. And it would be fine. Dude,
Okay.
this is the best $20 I've ever spent.
Only $20? That's nice.
Some people say only $20, and then some people are like, oh my god, $20?
You know, like somebody, I asked, there's a group called Sounds Like You're a Broke Bitch But Okay on Facebook, and my friend added me to it a while back because I was in a financial bind, and I was like reading through these posts, and these people definitely needed money more than I did, so I was like, you know, I don't want to ask for money anyway. I'd rather like sell nudes and suck dick for money, which is not something that I ever recommend. But you know,
If it works for you.
it works. You know, there's actually a website where you can sell your used tampons, by the way.
The internet is a fucking incredible place.
I have gotten really creative making my money.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do right now?
I sold
really?
my armpit hair.
Dude, if there's people that want to buy that,
There's
fucking
people that
do
want to
it.
buy anything.
Okay, so after this podcast is done, you're gonna hook me up with all I legitimately thought about taking like feet pics and being like,
I sold feed pics too. This guy paid me money very recently. I just got done finishing my root canal. I was in the parking lot. He messaged me. He's like, hey, could you take some pictures for me? I'll buy them from you. I was like, hey, like, I'm actually in the work parking lot. Not gonna whip out my titties at work. And he's like, no. I want to see your foot on the gas pedal. And I'm like,
wow.
that's very specific, and I'm not even mad. Like, I will do that. Like, I haven't even had a pedicure in a while, but yeah, I'll do it. And I did, and he sent me money, and I was like, this is probably the easiest money I've ever made.
How much money are we talking here? $5? You get a burger?
Oh, you're so mean. No, I made a lot of money off of it.
I'm just
I
curious
don't
as
want
to
to
how
throw
much.
my numbers out there, because if anybody's going to
Okay.
listen to this, I don't want them to think, like, they paid too much, because there's definitely
Okay.
people that have paid me a lot more than that, and there's definitely people that have paid me a lot less than that. But I don't want to like say my rates, because like it depends on how desperate I am that day. Like, do I really want that money?
I mean, if somebody wants it
I
and
would
they're
rather
willing to pay for it, I
would
wouldn't
rather
feel bad.
them think that I charge a lot of money than what I actually got paid for that.
So he gave you $200, and that was it. You sent him.
I've gotten paid more than that, actually.
Holy shit!
Not by that guy, but definitely more than that.
So I know exactly what I'm doing tonight.
I'm not even kidding. You need to. Like, you need to get in this business. Like,
This is great.
one time when I was, I think, 20 years old, this guy paid me $200 to come over to his house and feed him mud with my feet.
What? That's
I didn't even know this guy. I just went over to his house. He gave me $200. I took a Xanax because I have a foot phobia. And he got mud from outside, which probably definitely contained animal urine because it was like an apartment complex. And he just got it from like underneath a bush.
Don't eat that.
He poured water on it, and I mixed it up with my feet and fed it to him and slapped him with my feet and called him a dirty boy and went home and was like, what the fuck was that?
Oh no!
Yeah, and that was
There's
8 years
people
ago.
out there I'm gonna be fucking rich. This is great.
No, like so Belle Delphine kind of like set this market for me.
She I think she set that for everybody. I'm not in it.
I was amazed that she could sell bathwater.
Yeah.
I was amazed, and I was like, there's got to be some legal restrictions on this, and there's a very faded line on what that consists of. Now, I can't send somebody like blood out of my arm, but there's nothing that says that I cannot send vaginal blood in the mail.
I mean, I don't know how to verify that, but I'll take your word for it.
I can't send somebody my pinky, but if I wanted to shave my pubes or my armpit hair and send that off in a Ziploc bag, I could fight that in court.
Is there a demand for this?
There is. I'm not even kidding. This one chick, I was looking it up because I was like, I wonder if I can do that. Like, that sounds really gross, but there's some dirty motherfucker out there that would be into that.
That's what I'm saying. There's
I googled
so
it,
fucking many of us.
and this girl is selling her used tampons for $180 a piece.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, I spent $5 on that box. Like, that's 20 tampons in there.
That's fucking, like...
The profit on that is outstanding. I could pop a Diva cup on there and, like, sell shots.
You lost me there.
There's, like, an actual cup you can, like, put up there.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like a shot glass. And it just, like, collects, and, like, every 12 hours you, like, pull it out and you, like, dump it down the sink and wash it, and you just, like, shove it back up there.
And that's an alternative to, like, a tampon or a pad.
Yeah.
Wow. You learn something new every fucking day, don't you?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I probably scarred you for life.
No, I'm really... I like learning about new shit no matter what it is. It's interesting.
Fun fact, don't leave them in for 24 hours because it smells like a dead animal.
Oh shit, I gotta take mine out right now.
Like, I took mine out and it smelled like rotting broccoli, and I was like, oh
man.
But you know, I had a show that night, and I came home and I went to bed and I slept for a really long time because I may or may not have been doing cocaine, and you know, it just kind of like stayed in there for a really long time, and I kind of forgot its existence.
I've had some good party nights.
I don't like uppers, but like working a full-time job and then having to go like to Houston, for example. I do a lot of shows in Houston, so I'll get off my shift at 2 p.m. I'll work 5 to 2, get off my shift, drive all the way to Houston.
Okay.
Do my shift from like 7 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Oh.
Drive all the way back into Austin. Have to do my work shift again. So I'd get into Austin, like, my shift starts at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd work my shift, get home at like fucking like 4 or 5, and then just die.
Yeah, I mean, what the fuck else are you gonna do after that? Yeah, no, I've never worked anything like that. I worked,
I am a glutton for punishment. Cause like I'll tell my work like, hey, like I've got a show coming up. Can you like make my schedule like okay for that? And they'll be like, we'll do our best. Now the thing about working curbside is Sundays are required, and all my shows are on Saturdays. So
that's not cool.
Well, I could potentially have Friday off and Saturday off and rest those days before my show. I probably most likely will have to come into work on a Sunday. Now, I have gotten Sundays off before. It just kind of like depends the staff. We're super short-staffed lately. Like they just text the group chat like 5 minutes ago, and they're like, "Hey, can anybody come in and help like right now?"
Oh, I worked at Sonic. That's the only way I can relate to any kind of stuff like that.
Curbside operates like fast food, honestly. So you know how high-paced and like high demand and like you have to do everything super fast. You have your drive times, like all of that. Curbside's the same exact way. So we want to have those groceries finished shopping. You want to shop them like 2 hours out from the order. You want to finish that order about 30 minutes before the customer has to pick up. We notify the customer so they can go over their substitutions. Customer picks up. We do it all over again. So basically, we're continuously shopping on a very short time limit because we're shopping 12 orders at a single time.
Oh,
so you got to shop 12 orders in like an hour or two, because we've got so many orders within that 2 hour time window that like one of your 12 order batches should take you an hour. Like, you don't want to take over an hour or else we're going to get behind. And you're going to put everyone else behind. And it's happened a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
I'm going to stop asking you guys for questions on where things are.
Definitely ask, because you work for the same company I work for. We're partnership companies.
Yeah.
And when you can't find an item for your customer and you have to make like a shorter substitution when we had it, it's going to have like customer dissatisfaction. They wanted the item. I had it in the bag. Like, it cost me 2 minutes out of my time just to go grab it for you, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. For things that are out of stock, I'm like, it's supposed to be right here. Do y'all have anything in the back? But I just be coming up to y'all, I'm like, hey, you know where the thing is? Like,
yeah, do that too, because time is money for y'all. I get paid $15 an hour to do what I do. You get paid on tips.
I fucking sprint through HEB. I don't know about any of these other favor runners out here that be moving kind of slow.
I don't know. Every time I see any favor runner, they're like in a hurry. They're like, I can't find this baby food. Help me right now. And I'm like, yes, I will help you find that baby food right now. Out of the sea of 200 baby foods on aisle 17, I will find that baby food for you.
Just in case y'all were wondering where the baby food is, it's on aisle 17. It is. Favor is kind of stressful. Again, perception. How do you look at it? Are you going to stress yourself out so you're like, oh, panic mode, what am I doing next? Blah, 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 blah. Or are you just going to take a fucking deep breath and just do it? Why not just do it at a reasonable pace?
Because then you don't get paid. Because if you don't get those orders done pretty quickly, you're getting like sometimes $2 tips, sometimes $15 tips. But in general, when I was running, like, I was getting like $2 tips, and then they would give us like an $80 bonus, which was like insulting, because like you work a full like 8-hour day, you're exhausted, and you bring home like $100.
Yeah.
$200 if you're lucky. And it just feels like insulting for all the work and gas and energy you spent doing all that shit.
For sure. There's a way to do it right, and there's a way not to do it.
I definitely did not learn how to do it, and I hated working for Favor.
If you didn't do it right, one day you'll be doing fine, and the next day you'll be like, fuck this, I will never do this again. It all depends on where you are and what orders you accept, and how good you are at kind of multitasking for like 10 minutes. You have to multitask for 10 minutes. You gotta send a text. You gotta communicate with your customer if they want something or they want to add something, whatever the fuck. You gotta call the store. You gotta make sure you do that in the right order in case they want to add something. And then you gotta drive in Austin.
Yeah.
So there's like 10 minutes in there of like multitasking, like gotta get all this shit done, and then you're just driving.
Voice to text is amazing.
Oh God, yes.
Text shortcuts. I loved using those text shortcuts.
I've got all my shit written out, really. I just copy and paste it.
Yeah, honestly.
Here, check out my greeting text. My girlfriend and I put it together. Here, I'll just read it. It says, hey there, Megan, whatever the fuck your name is. This is Kelsey and Jeremiah sending you good vibes for the day. Looks like we're favor runners today and we're headed to Kirby Lane or whatever. Because of the health risks, we're taking extra precautions, including masks, frequent hand sanitization, leaving orders on doorsteps and walking away, and any other steps we can take to keep ourselves and our community safe. While you wait, you can check out our YouTube channel where we do our best to entertain you during quarantine. In the meantime, we'll keep you updated on every step of your order. If you have any additions that weren't included in the order, give us a call or text if you want or need anything changed. We'll do our best to make it happen for you. Thank you. And then the YouTube link. I just send that, and that's all I gotta really send.
Does anybody ever get mad that you send like YouTube links?
No.
Oh, that's cool.
Fuck you if you get mad. I don't really care.
Honestly.
Actually, not fuck you. I I just don't really care.
Yeah,
It's like, oh no, YouTube link popped up on my phone. Like,
that's unprofessional. I'm just like so used to Karens that just get so upset over everything. Like yesterday, my coworker was like shocked. I literally just got promoted. Like literally.
You told me about that. Congratulations,
Thank
officially.
You. But there's a customer, and I guess I was in her way. Like, I understand, our carts are big. They're in the way, especially when there's multiple of us in that aisle. Like, it's chaos.
If there's multiple, it's fucked.
But, like, you don't even have to say, excuse me. You can say, like, bitch, move. And I'll move. Like, that's my job, to move out of your way. Like, you don't even have to be nice. But this lady, like, is, like, very impatient behind me. Like, her body language is radiating, get the fuck out of my way. But, like, I couldn't move. There's too many people in the aisle, and I also have to socially distance. Right. So, like, as I'm turning around to, like, tell her, like, hey, like, I can't move, just, like, give me a couple seconds, she's like, so, like, I snap. I hate when people do that. When they look at you and they do that, like, exasperated, get the fuck out of my way, you're inconveniencing me. Like, it just sets me off. So I'm like, the magic word of the day is excuse me.
It is. I mean, that's all you have to say. Just excuse me.
There was this one lady, like, months ago. The floor was wet, and I was parked on the only carpet. And, like, I didn't even notice the floor was wet. Like, honestly, there was no wet floor signs or anything. But she's like she's walking a tightrope or something on like the last of the carpet, and I'm staring at her like, bitch, what the fuck are you doing? Like, are you playing a game? Like, this lady's like 70. Like, what are you doing?
Hey, when I'm 70, I want to fucking just walk through HEB like I'm a ninja. And
that's kind of like how it was. And I'm like staring at her, like trying to figure out like what's going on. And she looks at me, looking at her, and she's like, well, I'm not gonna walk on the wet floor. And I was like confused, and I'm like, ma'am, it's pronounced excuse me. Like, I didn't know you needed by. I didn't know you didn't want to walk on the wet floor. I didn't even know there was a wet floor.
It's hard to see the wet floors if it's like the white tile, and you don't see it. You have to get it at the right angle, you know? Otherwise you don't see it. But
she was mad that I said that, though. Like, I probably almost lost my job that day.
I've been there.
I'm really sassy with customers, and I try not to be. But
it's difficult when they're just dicks. Like,
this guy told me to fucking move once, and I laughed in his face. Like, I straight up just laughed. Like, I was like, why would you tell me to fucking move? Like, I don't understand why you're so rude. Why are you so rude?
It's not because they're upset with you, I don't think. I think it's because, oh, my kid got up and he fucking spilt his bowl of oatmeal on my brand new carpet. And the fucking TV wouldn't turn on, so I couldn't watch my Fox News. And my fucking car,
this sounds
I left
so
tacos
personal
in there
this
from the other day.
This is so descriptive. It almost sounds like you've been in this situation before.
I mean, no, I just make up stories.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that sounds so personal. Like,
I mean, I do leave tacos in my car, and then I'll come out the next morning, and it's like, oh, what the fuck is that? Oh, a taco.
My car smells like an absolute trash can right now, and I'm so afraid to clean it out. I have been so non-stop busy. I'm convinced that I left my lunch in there one time.
Oh, no.
And I'm pretty sure by the smell of my car that there is definitely a hard-boiled egg that's been in there for like a couple weeks.
You want to get that one out of there.
I'm trying. I'm just so busy.
I got you. As soon as you go back to your car, just find a little egg. You're like, egg, and then you get out of there. It's nasty.
You know, I don't think I can. Like, there's too much shit in my car. There's trash everywhere. Like, have you ever seen those, like, hoarder cars where, like, the trash is piled up everywhere but the driver's seat?
I've seen
my car's, like, a quarter of the way there.
Oh, shit. It's gonna, okay. I guess my idea of
my entire floorboard is, like, just trash.
You can just scoop it all up in a trash bag then.
I don't know what's trash and what's not trash.
Oh, I guess so. You gotta dig through it.
There's, like, a couple jackets in there because in the mornings I get cold. And
I can't wait for the cold.
I'm so excited.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're still here, you are a trooper. Truly and honestly. Thank you for listening. I hope your ears aren't hurting too bad. I'm going to do my best to get all those nasty sounds out of there, like that farting airplane that was going by, and all the other things. Try and edit it the best I can. But before we go, I did want to spread some awareness for our folks out there that are not feeling too well mentally. I know that there's a lot of us out there that are struggling financially, whatever it is you're going through. I like to help people get themselves out there. You gotta talk about it. You gotta get it out. You can't just leave it in there. So that's for that side of it. If you know somebody that's going through some stuff and they're distancing themselves, not talking to you as much, and kind of sinking into that hole, maybe you want to reach out to them. Be nice. Get them some boba tea or whatever it is. But yeah, I think we got to stick together right now. We got to help each other out, whether that's just talking and being somebody's journal, whatever it is. But that was all I wanted to say. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Y'all take care, and we'll see you on the next one.